Hello, everybody. I'm glad you're here today. I'm going to get right to it. I'm bringing you a dream my dad had on November 6th, 2022. I do not know what this dream means exactly, but I have a kind of a general idea. I would really please like your help in this. I have prayed about this. I've taken it to Jesus, and he has given me some insight. Tell me what I'm missing. I would really... I know I'm not good at interpretation. I don't know why my dad keeps getting dreams like this, but he does, and I don't know what else to do except to make a video about it. So here I am. This dream has a Bible verse in it. That's what struck me about this dream, and that's why I wanted to bring it to you. Overall, I think there's a general picture here, nearly like a parable. So that's what I want to bring you. I'll just go ahead and read it to you, and then you do with it as you will. If it resonates, like I said, please comment and let me know. All right. There was a car parked with a man in it outside an area away from this building. So my dad came out of this building, and just as he came out, he noticed the car that was parked. But another car came up and pulled up beside the parked car on the driver's side. And he had a gun, and he shot 3 times at the parked car's driver. My dad hunkered down. The car drove away. My dad went to the driver's side, and there was a big hole in the window, just one hole. Even though there were 3, boom, and they weren't like gunshots. They were like boom, boom, like big resonating booms, like shaking the earth, not like pop, pop, pop of a gun. So he went around to the driver's side, and there was a big hole in the window, and the driver was laying over in the seat, and he just assumed he was dead. So my dad knew he had to call 911. But right before he was finished, he looked up, and there was like a security guard or a night watchman that was driving over to him. And my dad motioned him to come over, and the guy did. And my dad said, I think the man in the car just got shot. And he looked in, the security guard did, but didn't seem all that concerned. We went to the other side, the passenger side, and they saw the hole in the other window. Once again, 3 projectiles went through it. There was one hole. And the security guy said, let's find the projectiles. And that was the word that was used. Projectiles, he said. They walked a little ways, and there was a metal pole like the size of a telephone pole. And there was a hole in it, and it was burning. It was like super hot and still kind of smoking. And so then the security guy said, let's go see if it went through that metal fence that was in the distance. When they got to the metal fence, the fence was just dented. So they started looking on the ground for the projectiles, and they found 3 domed projectiles. They were not bullets. They were domed, like curved on the end, kind of like a bullet, but they weren't a bullet. They were perplexed. Suddenly, the shooter's car returned. The security guy ran towards it and pulled a gun. My dad ran behind the building and was in an alley. At the far end of the alley, a man appeared from the bad people's car. He just knew he was a bad guy, and they were both surprised to see each other. My dad suddenly had a gun and was able to shoot at him. And then my dad ran out into a field and kind of hid down and watched. He stayed low, and he saw this shootout going on between this night watchman and all these bad guys. And they were getting closer to him. So my dad thought, I'll just go help this security guy, because they were kind of ganging up on him. So my dad had a gun, and as he was shooting, it was like he was shooting blanks, because it wasn't killing anyone. No one was killing anyone, but they were shooting at each other. But not not there was no one was dying. No one was being killed. Finally, the bad guys drove away, and the security guard drove away, and my dad was so relieved. Then the dream kind of changed. He described it as like a dream within a dream. And my dad went into this building, and it was a pleasant atmosphere, and there were people in there, and they welcomed him. And a woman was there, and she was super friendly at first. And there was a row of people sitting on the floor, and I don't know what that means. There were a row of people sitting in chairs, and the woman said, "Have a seat on the floor." And one person, my dad described them as kids. They were younger. One person spoke, and she, like this older woman, just blew a gasket and got so angry. She said, "Do not speak. Do not talk." She was very forceful and mean. And all the people in there looked very stoic. She walked up and got behind this pulpit, and then Bibles were handed out. And my dad saw all the people on each side of him with Bibles. And then there was a glow that came around the woman. And she said, "Everyone turn to the book of Zechariah." So the person beside my dad was looking in the index of the Bible, trying to find out what page Zechariah was. And my dad said, "What page is it on?" And the person said, "Don't talk," like real scared. And so my dad's Bible had tabs on it, so he was able to kind of try to find Zechariah, but it was hard for him to see him. And then the woman said, "I will read Zechariah 3:6-9. So my dad kind of pretended to read along, even though it wasn't really there in the Bible. And she began to ask all these questions about this passage. And my dad hadn't even read it. And she looked at my dad and asked a question. And he said something that seemed to satisfy her. But the girl behind my dad, who was older, challenged the speaker, challenged that woman, as if to say, "No, this isn't true," or "You're not right," or there was some sense of justice from this person behind him. And the speaker woman became furious and got really angry, but the girl did not back down. She stood her ground and said, "This is not right. You're not right. This is not truth." Things like that. And the woman began to leave. But as she was leaving, she said, "I'm leaving, but I want you to ponder the question. I'm leaving, but I want you to ponder the question." Okay, y'all. I don't know what all that means. But whenever my dad dreams a Bible verse, I'm going to pay attention to it. Now then, a couple of things that stuck out. First of all, the Bible verse, obviously. Second of all, the amount of threes and the multiples of 3. 3, 6, and 9 were in this dream a lot. The Trinity, that's what comes to mind, of course. That's what that means. Possibly. The glow that came around the woman was not good. The woman in the pulpit. She was evil. And sometimes the Bible tells us that Satan can appear like an angel of light to us. So I wonder if that's what that meant. I think generally overall, if you were to put an umbrella on this dream, it would mean this, that there is conflict going on in the world. There is conflict going on in the church in many ways, in that the truth is being sacrificed for the sake of wokeism, for the political agenda in many churches right now. Maybe not yours. I hope not yours, but in many churches. And we have got to discern that and stand up for the truth of what Jesus teaches us in the Holy Scriptures. There's nothing more supreme than the Bible. So, overall, I think what it's saying is we're going to have to, maybe we're in this time right now, where we're going to have to be like that one girl that was behind my dad. Once again, kind of like, I got your back. She was behind him. And stand up for what's true. And when we do, that older woman, that bossy woman, did not hurt her. She left. She drove her out just by standing up for what was true. Zechariah 3:6-9 talks about Jesus coming and saving us in one day, saving us from our sins. And I think that is the focus right now. That is the truth. And that's what we need to hold on to. This dream is a reminder that we are entering and are in. I don't know if y'all feel it, see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. But we're in a season of conflict right now in our country, in the world. Things are really ramping up. Things are escalating. I wish they were de-escalating. I don't know why people aren't talking about peace, but they're not. They're talking about war. They're talking about nuclear war. People in Ukraine are getting bombed super bad this week, y'all. Poland got 2 missiles over there. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Probably not much, but still. Some farmer goes to work and a missile hits him. Really. The world we're living in is like that fight in this dream that's just chaotic and it doesn't make sense. They were shooting, but no bullets were flying. That doesn't make sense. We have Christ. That is the truth. That makes sense. What he did for us, what he's done for us, what he's doing for us, that makes sense to me. That is the only thing I can hang my hat on right now. That's the only thing that's sustaining me. Everything else seems chaotic and confusing, as the world is. That's the nature of the world, isn't it? The battle that was in this dream, that's what that was, maybe. But even inside the church, you need to be very sharp and very alert as to what is being preached, what is being taught. Is it the truth, or does it look like the truth but really isn't? You got to know what the truth is by opening up your Bibles and reading it. Don't trust me. Don't trust anybody else. Read the Bible. Talk to Jesus. The Spirit will help you discern. And the Father loves you very much. So hang on to him. That's all I have. I hope you gleaned something from that. My son is being very loud back there, but he's having a good time. Chloe is very warm over here, so that's good. Y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving this week. This is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.